average. A 214 high single. He did that at Park Place a few years ago. High triple at 515. Impressive stats, and he bowls at his bowling center, Lakeside Lanes in Manchester.
And Tim has defeated David Diorio and Rich Hallberg on his way to this afternoon's match against our number 2 seed, Ed Woodside from Saugus, Massachusetts.
Ed coming in with an average stick of 122. His high single is 184. Triple 446. Ed Woodside bowling at Central Park Lanes in East Boston.
And Ed rolled a 680 to earn his number 2 seed in this ladder series. Let's get right to it. It's Tim Lipke and Ed Woodside coming up on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua. We'll come back with this afternoon's match right after this.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you by the Thompson family of dealerships in Nashua, New Hampshire.
And we look at the ladder for this series, and you see the bowlers who began a couple of weeks back. The top 5, Tim Lipke defeated David Diorio and Rich Hallberg, setting up this afternoon's match with Ed Woodside, and Gary Santoro waits in the wings, and Tim Lipke will be first to bowl here this afternoon in our semifinal match of the 3rd ladder series of the season. We're at Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, on Amherst Street, right off of exit 7W if you're coming north on the Everett Turnpike, exit 8 if you're coming from the Manchester area. And there's always plenty of open bowling at Leda Lanes if you'd like to stop by and do some Candlepin bowling. You won't find a better place to do it.
And I should also mention that if you're watching this in its first broadcast on Sunday, December the 10th, we invite you down Tuesday the 12th. For the next taping, we do 4 shows in a span of about 6 hours, and we invite you to come down. It's mixed doubles, Dick, so you'll get twice as many bowlers for the price of one.
And Lipke starts out with a 10 box after missing the spare. Tim has had the good fortune the last couple of weeks to jump out to early leads over his opponents and really never be threatened.
Well, he's also had the advantage of both bowlers the last 2 weeks not even averaging 100 in their first 2 strings, averaging 98, both of them the last 2 weeks. So he'll be bowling in the 105, 110 range and still be ahead substantially after 2 strings. 363 and 381 for Lipke the last 2 weeks.
Not going to pick up the spare. Tim's in the bowling business. He and his wife Wendy own and operate Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, and they've had that for a little over a year. Couple of 10s to start out for Tim. And now Ed Woodside steps to lane 34. Ed bowls out of Central Park Lanes in East Boston. Bowls on a Friday Night Pro League. He's been bowling 30 years. He is 41 years old. He'll start out with a 10 box. He and Denise have been married for 14 years, and their 2 children, Michael and Lauren, are here. Michael 11 and Lauren 8. That was on the head pin, and he'll have a spare opportunity here with the 3 and the 10.
Getting some nice action on his ball, wouldn't you say? Just watching him in warm-ups. Getting some very good pin action. That bodes well for him.
Nice shot for Ed Woodside, and the first mark of the afternoon goes to Ed with a spare in the 2nd box. Now Tim Lipke. Turn on the head pin. Tries to break up the spare. The split can't do it. He has the 8 and the 10 on the back row. Piece of deadwood to the left of the 8. Now rolls off the lane. Tim and his wife Wendy have a couple of children. Shauna is 25. Shane is 18. That'll be a 10 box.
I think Shauna's 23, actually. Don't want to make her any older than she is, you know. Oh,
I didn't put that there.
I see. We've corrected our age here.
Right on the head pin, and there they go.
Nice.
First strike of the match goes to Tim Lipke. Woodside works on a spare, missed the head pin. Put just 3 in the spare. This past March, he was seeded number 3, lost to number 2 seed Joe Stella, 390 to 345. The previous week, he defeated Steve Plant and hit the triple strike jackpot at the time for $525. That came just a week after Plant hit it for $1,000. And here's a spread eagle.
Ed Woodside, a very fast bowler, sets himself. Although he'll take a little more time analyzing this shot.
Speaking of the triple strike jackpot, we have $750 in this week's jackpot. Should one of our bowlers put 3 strikes back to back to back. That's a nice 10 box for Ed. He's got 42 through 4. And Tim Lipke steps up, working on a strike. Our bonus ball contest after every match gives you an opportunity to participate in Candlepin Stars and Strikes. All you have to do is send in a postcard with your name and address and how many pins you would expect our winning bowler to knock down with 1 ball after every match. Send it to Lita Lanes, 340 Amherst Street, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03063. And after every match, Michael pulls a postcard out of the bin, and our winning bowler bowls the ball, and we try to match it up with the number of pins that get knocked down. And if it's not a match, you win a nice consolation prize from N&R Trophies of Winchendon, Massachusetts. 9 box for Tim Lipke.
In the bonus ball last week, Tim threw 2. So you never know. You write down any number, and on any given day, you might get lucky. Match the bowler.
That one's off the head pin. And a pin dances, which brings me to a letter that we got, Michael, and I'll read right after Tim's ball here.
This could help him. He's got the 4 horsemen on the right side, along with the 5 and the 9 in the back.
Missed the head pin. Robert Walsh from Fitchburg writes that he enjoys the show. He's learned much about the history of the game from us. And he has a question. Even though this has not occurred nearly as much as it has in the past, he was wondering why the pins seem to move over more at Lita Lanes than at other bowling alleys where he's both bowled at or watched on TV. Do you think that is true? That they dance more here, they move more, they change position more?
Well, you know, that I really couldn't answer that. I wouldn't want to either. But I will say that there's certainly a big variance between one house, or from one house to another. In fact, there's a rating system in New Hampshire that rates the bowling centers according to how fast or how slow they are in terms of average from a normal perspective. So some bowling centers might be a +1 or a +2, others might be a minus, depending on how the scoring tends to be.
We certainly have seen over the past couple of years a lot of pins move around here at Lita Lanes without going over.
Very difficult to explain, and I would not be the one to ask about that. I would talk to your local proprietor, the man or woman who runs your local bowling center, and ask what the cause of that may be.
And our thanks to Robert Walsh from Fitchburg, Massachusetts, for writing in with that observation.
Now, I can tell you that the bowling pins, every so often, the bottoms are refinished or shaved to make them flattened out, because they get a lot of nicks and dents from being capped and just the general abuse that they take. So that has a little to do with it occasionally.
That's a spare for Ed Woodside in the 6th frame, his 2nd mark of the 1st string. And we're pretty even thus far.
A set of bowling pins lasts a long, long time because they are fairly expensive to replace.
I always seem to get the ones that have the nail coming out of the bottom that has them
stick it to the lane,
planted into the ground. Yeah.
That can be a problem.
This is the 3, the 6, and the 7 staring right back at Tim Lipke. Piece of wood in the middle of the lane. Not going to make the shot. While making reference to the nice note that we got from Mr. Walsh from Framingham, I will remind you that we like to hear from you. Wherever you may be watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS-TV, which has a reach of close to 2 million households in Massachusetts and New Hampshire over the air and on cable. So the potential is there for a lot of people to be watching. And there go the pins. As Tim turned his back, the pins kept going over.
Yeah, the 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 on what looked to be a really good pocket hit. And then he got a real nice sidewall action, and he got a bit of a roadblock as the pin heads back toward the deadwood line, which is 2 feet in front of the head pin. But since it's pretty much in the light there of the lane deck, looks like it's a legal play pin.
Comes into play for sure, and he'll only pick one of them. So our mailing address, if you'd like to drop us a note, and we'd love to hear from you, and we read as many of the notes as we can on the air, is Candlepin Stars and Strikes, WNDS TV, 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire, 03038. Nice shot by Ed Woodside. You could tell when that left his hand, he liked it because he stayed right with it all the way.
He went up on his toes, knew it was there.
That's a strike inside a spare.
So bonus money opportunity right here for a mark. Ed Woodside could take down $50 with a mark right here.
Not only that, a lead in the first string. That's off the head pin, but he got a pretty good fall of 5. Still another ball to go to fill the strike. Some pretty good wood. This is a makeable shot. Yep. The way the wood is angled.
7 pin is going to be the most difficult one to get, of course.
Nope, not going to get it. Put 7 in the strike. $8 and 11 pin lead for Ed Woodside, with 2 boxes remaining in the first string.
Tim Lipke finding himself in unfamiliar territory, and that is not leading the match. He pretty much led wire to wire the last 2 weeks over David Diorio and Rich Hallberg, and today he finds himself 11 pins down early in the 3-game set.
He gets a lot of sidewall action. Now he's got the 1, the 8, check it, the 1, the 9, and the 10. A piece of wood right behind the 1, angled a little bit to the left. He knocked a pin into the other alley. He knocked a pin from lane 34 onto lane 33. Don't see that happen very often.
Not too often, no.
And that'll be a $10. He's at 95. Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV is a presentation of the Thompson family of dealerships. McMulkin Chevrolet, Nashua Hyundai, Nashua Mitsubishi, and Nashua Daewoo, all located in the New England Automotive Village on the Daniel Webster Highway in Nashua. You've got the 6, the 9, and the 10, double wood in front. I think this goes with the wood the way it is. Here it is.
Only the second mark this string for Tim Lipke. And to show you how good he is at pinning, through 9 he had 95 with just 1 mark, which means that he only left 2 pins standing the whole game, the 5th and 6th frame. Now, of course, a mark in the 10th will help.
105 plus this ball. So it'll be a 112 first string for Tim Lipke. Ed Woodside is at 96. And he stands to take a lead into the second string. The question is, how big will that lead be? Pins continue to fall. Not a great hit, but he ends up with a pretty good pin fall of 7 on the first ball. The 1, the 3, and the 10. Not going to make it. There goes the 1 dancing right there, but it didn't go down. It was halfway over and decided to stand up again. And that'll be a 10 box. He's at 106. 6 pins ties, and anything above it gives him the lead after 1. There's the 6. 3, 5, 6, and 10. A 2-pin lead 4-pin lead for Ed Woodside over Tim Lipke after one string of this semifinal match on our third ladder series of the season on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. We continue from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire right after this on WNDS TV.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you in part by Dexter Shoe, the #1 bowling shoes in the world.
Ed Woodside will be first to bowl. String number 2, Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV.
Do we mention that Ed Woodside is a sales associate at Macy's downtown?
We did not mention that yet.
And how busy he must be in December, the holiday season. Christmas just a couple of weeks away.
Nice spare for Ed Woodside to start out. Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever have another one-day sale.
I don't think so.
You don't think that they'll ever have another one, huh?
No, that was it. It was a one-time deal. That's why it's a one-day sale day.
On the spare, tries to break up the split, can't do it. Tough shot coming for Ed Woodside. The 2, the 4, and the 10. Looking for some help from that wood that just rolled out front. It certainly must be played.
Are you a last-minute Christmas shopper?
Nice shot by Ed Woodside. Played that wood perfectly. 2 marks in a row for Ed Woodside to start out the second string, and that was as nice as it gets. Watch it one more time. Played the wood perfectly.
Sweet.
Tim Lipke bounces one down and right through the head pin. So Tim now bowling from behind, which he has been unaccustomed to doing over the last couple of weeks. That'll be a 7-box to start out for Tim Lipke.
He is
out of character.
One of the top bowlers in the history of the game, at least in the history of the Pro Tour. Over the years, he's won 8 Pro Tour titles. Only 3 have been ahead of him. Craig Holbrook, who's been on our show, has 9. Peter Flynn has 10. Tommy Olsta, 17 tour titles and 1 tie for a title. So Tim Lipke among the elite of the men who've played this game in the WCBC over the last 3 decades.
Almost a spread eagle there. The 3-pin went over, so it's 3 on the left, 2 on the right. There go the 3 on the left, 2 on the right remaining. The 6 and the 10.
Veteran of over 30 television appearances over the years.
And that'll be a 9-box for Tim Lipke. 2 boxes that he left pinned standing. Very unusual for Tim Lipke over the last couple of weeks. He's been pinning extremely well. Now Ed Woodside looks for some bonus money. He has 2 marks in a row to start out this second string. Off the head pin. 7 in the spare. Piece of wood settled in between the 1 and the 7. Now it rolled back a little bit. Don't think it comes into play, at least, well, it may.
May have gotten in the way, actually.
Might have.
Nailed the 1 and the 3 nicely, and then the pieces of wood kind of fought each other to stay away from the 7-pin.
That'll be a 10-box.
So now the margin of the lead is up to 28 pins in this game and 32 in the match overall for Ed Woodside.
That's right on the head pin. And look what he has to show for it.
That was a perfect hit on the Brooklyn side, and the 6 and the 9. I'm sorry, the 6 and the 8 are there. Did you hit it right on the stripe, Dick?
Yep. You can try to play it the other side. Oh, the pin still stands. I don't know how that's possible. That's a 9 box. 53 through 4 for Ed Woodside. Now Tim Lipke needs a mark.
Yeah, they keep on falling after an off head pin hit. 7 and the 9 remain. 3 pieces of wood scattered around the deck. 1 out front, 1 next to the 7, and 1 in front of and to the right of the 9. See what he does with this mess.
Well, it's still a mess.
The ball spinning furiously in the gutter.
And a pin coming back this way.
So a 3rd consecutive open frame. Tim Lipke with 8 to fill.
Eight box for Tim. He's at 24 through 3. Looking for his first mark of the 2nd string, and it's 3 boxes in a row that he's left pin standing. Very much out of character for Tim. That'll be off the head pin.
Two sets of double wood, the 1 and the 5 and the 3 and the 9, and then wood off to the side, the 6 and the 8. It's a cluster of 6 pins for the spare attempt. Hits the nose, leaving the 3, the 5 and the 6 as we prepare to go to break here. Tim Lipke is digging himself a hole. Nearly fouled. Don't think he did. Stuck at the line for 10.
And we'll take a break with Ed Woodside leading Tim Lipke as we near the halfway point of the match. We continue from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV.
WNDS has recently received tapes of Dick and Mike talking about their next bowling match.
Listen, I don't know why we have to do this again.
I'll tell you why, because the fans demand it. They want to see us out
Oh,
there.
really?
Yeah, it's important to them, Dick. Come on.
It's important to you because I kicked your ass all over the place last time.
Don't be that way.
Listen, I know why you're saying this, because loser there, winner here.
Yeah, that was last year, pal. This is now. Let's lace them up.
Tune in to Candlepin Stars and Strikes to find out more every Saturday and Sunday at noon, only on WNDS.
Ed Woodside back to lane 34 at Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Dick Lutsk with Mike Moran. Our entire WNDS crew here working to bring Candlepin Stars and Strikes to you. Woodside on the head pin. Candlepin Stars and Strikes is being directed today by Ken Knight. Working in the truck with Ken, Dave McCarthy, Don Cronin, Paul Hunter, and Larry Taylor, and our camera crew consisting of Kevin LaFond and Bob Dole. And you see the spare for Ed Woodside in the 5th frame. His 3rd spare of the match, and you're going to get to watch it one more time. Played it well.
That is a tough spare. You've got the diamond with another pin back in the corner. Difficult spare.
And he fills the spare with an 8. 71.5 for Ed Woodside with the 3 marks. You got the 3 and the 5 still standing, and they're still standing as he threw it right by the 3 pin. That'll be a 9 box. Everett Harriman wrote in from White River Junction, I think I saw the postmark. It's not noted on the letter itself, but I believe it was postmarked from White River Junction, Vermont. Another former pin setter. We haven't heard from pin setters in a couple of weeks now.
No, you're right.
Pins continue to fall for Tim Lipke. There it goes. Watch out. Don't give up on it.
Well,
Everett Harriman used to be a pin setter in Bangor, Maine years ago. Here's a spare for Tim Lipke. Nice spares. He got a good break with that first ball. Mr. Harriman writes he was setting up pins when somebody threw a ball. Pins just flew all around me, and not a pin touched him. But he got mad at him, and he threw the ball back down the lane, the ball bouncing up and down under the seat. So try to get a picture of that, throwing the ball down and having the pin boy throwing it back at you.
Can't blame the guy. Although in today's age of lawyers, can you imagine doing that?
Look at Tim Lipke try to cut that shot and make the spare, and he almost did it.
He hit it where he wanted to between the 3 and the 10. Cut it a little too finely.
That'll be a $9 for Tim. So thanks to Everett Harriman.
Averill
Harriman. A little slip there. Former ambassador.
That's right. Anybody much under 40 or 50 wouldn't know the name unless you're a history scholar. Ed Woodside punching through now, leaving the 3, the 4, the 6, and the 10.
Look at that shot.
Oh, nice.
Ed Woodside makes a beautiful spare. Watch it again. Sliding the 3-pin right over.
You know, it almost went in front of the
to take out the 4.
2-pin. He almost missed it in front of. It's a great shot.
On the spare. It'll be 8. Again, a pin dances a little bit but doesn't go down.
Should mention that Gary Santora is waiting in the wings to see who he'll bowl next Sunday for the championship ladder. Well, we've given away no bonus money today. Ed Woodside setting himself up for a possible run at $50 for his next mark. If he can do it in the 9th frame. Tim Lipke now up in the 7th. Well, there's another case of the pin sliding and not going down. The 4-pin moving off its spot by a couple of inches. There's plenty of wood in the corner that should assist Lipke in this spare attempt.
Nice shot.
This is where Tim needs to start stringing marks together. He seems to have solved the problem of sticking at the foul line, which he had done. Told us he was sweating quite a bit, and that'll come off your face, your arms, wherever. Go down to the line, and your foot will stick in it, and it'll make you stop dead. Only 3 on the fill.
Punched right through.
And he knew it. He held up one finger on his right hand to indicate, yep, just one. He'll go for the cluster of 4 on the right side.
Nice shot. Good out for $9.
Nice.
82 through 8 for Lipke. Ed Woodside has a 108 plus a ball. Put 6 in the spare.
Needs the spare for $50. Haven't given any bonus money away today. First opportunity for that right here.
Not going to get it.
$750 for 3 strikes in a row. That's where the triple strike jackpot stands.
124 for Ed Woodside with a box to go. Just missed the head pin. Pins continue to fall. The 1, the 3, and the 10. Wood in the bank angled up against the 10 won't hurt him. Nice shot for a spare. Sixth mark of the 2nd string for Ed Woodside.
The decent fill, he'll be in the 140s. Tim Lipke will need a couple marks to even hit 120.
That's a pretty decent fill. That's a 9 fill and a 143 for Ed Woodside in the 2nd string. 6 marks, but not 3 consecutively. No bonus money to give away. Now Lipke needs to put a couple together to finish strongly. Missed the head pin. The 1, the 2, and the 10.
And no wood to help in the process. Needs to be a clean shot.
There it is. Ooh, I thought he had it. When it left his hand, I thought he had it.
One pin went right around the 10.
.92 for Tim. Unless he marks, he stands to be down some 40+ pins going to the 3rd string. Now, this is a pretty good mark.
Well, a couple more would certainly make this match more interesting.
Sure would. There's a nice strike as you get to watch it again. 4-pin kicked out at the end. .102. Right on the head pin.
Good attempt right in the 1-3 pocket. 7 and 10 stayed. 10 pin finally went down. 112 possible.
That's what it is. A 112 for Tim Lipke. A 35-pin lead for Ed Woodside as we head to the 3rd and final string of this semifinal match. We continue from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire on WNDS TV's Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Tim Lipke will start us off in our 3rd and final string of this semifinal match. It's our 3rd ladder series of the season. Where has the time gone? Seems like we just began this ladder series, this season of Candlepin bowling on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Tim Lipke in the pocket. How do you figure that?
That's what he's wondering.
That's almost impossible. You got the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10, and the 6-pin is there. All along the back row.
And that was not a punch-out shot. I'm sorry.
Ooh, watch it, watch it, watch it. Oh, it almost took it going by it in the end. Quite a shot by Tim Lipke. Wouldn't that have been something? That'll be a $9 to start out.
And that's the kind of day it's been for Tim Lipke after massive victories the last 2 weeks over David Diorio and Rich Hallberg.
Hey, Michael, do you like pizza?
Oh, I love pizza, especially Pizza Hut
Well,
pizza.
next time you're in the area, stop over to Pizza Hut on Amherst Street in Nashua. Right down the street from Leda Lanes, 313 Amherst Street to be more specific. They have a wonderful luncheon buffet every Monday through Friday from 11:30 to 1. It's a terrific salad bar, a couple of different kinds of salad. I'm partial to Caesar salad. Breadsticks, desserts, different varieties of pizza, all you can eat. It's a wonderful spread, and you're going to enjoy it at the Pizza Hut on Amherst Street in Nashua, 313 Amherst Street, just down the street from Leda Lanes, right off of exit 7W of the Everett Turnpike. Say hi to Laurie Christian and the gang at Pizza Hut on Amherst Street in Nashua. Ed Woodside on his way to a 300. Bounced that one down.
Yep. Skip lob. 6-7, the last to go.
Look at that solid 4-pin.
Boy.
Everything around it went flying and nothing touched the 4-pin. It's almost physically impossible for that to happen, but it does.
I think it's the 1 pin that misses it too.
And it's still standing.
Ed Woodside, a very aggressive bowler, very just has that style of urgency about it.
He adds 10 pins to his lead. Leads by 45 pins now with 8 boxes to go.
Brother Kevin Woodside, of course, has been on the show last couple of years. The Woodside boys from the North Shore.
There's Tim Lipke with a strike. Watch it one more time and look at how fast the pins go down. There they go. 5 pin the last to go. He could use another one.
Yeah, at least it's a spare leave, one that's not too difficult to make. 3-5.
The spare goes inside the strike for Tim Lipke as he tries to make a run at Ed Woodside. Woodside with the 1, the 3, the 6, and the 7. The piece of wood in front of the 7-pin helps out. But he just picked the 1 cleanly.
Lipke gets a couple of pins back in the third frame.
And that'll be an 8 box for Ed Woodside.
Does his bowling at Central Park Lanes in East Boston on that Pro League Friday night, which a lot of fans like to follow around. A lot of the North Shore bowlers you see on Candlepin Stars and Strikes are participants in that Friday night Pro League. Check it out some Friday, give you a chance to talk to the bowlers up close and personal.
Nice shot by Ed Woodside as he marks going to the break. Both bowlers will be working on marks when we come back for the break. It's Woodside in the lead over Tim Lipke heading down the home stretch as we continue on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire on WNDS TV.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you in part by Dexter Shoe, the #1 bowling shoes in the world.
Tim Lipke ready to go. He's working on a spare. He has 2 marks in a row. And he really needs to continue marking to make a run at Ed Woodside. Right on the head pin and right through the head pin. Just put 4 in the spare.
Very disappointing fill for Tim Lipke, who needed that momentum to get going here for the rest of the game after 2 marks.
Rosemary McManus from Holden, Massachusetts sent in a clipping from an ad from a jewelry store in Boston advertising a bronze memorial dated with a date of 1700, the site of the Bowling Green. It's got people, the image of bowlers, doesn't say where.
Is it outdoors?
Outdoors in an outdoor bowling green, but dated 1700. So they were bowling way back when.
Oh yes, well certainly before that, as we all know, the Egyptians are generally acknowledged as the creators of the game of bowling, or a variation of it anyway, that's evolved to what it is today. In many different forms around the world. It's not just 10 pins and candle pins, it's duck pins, it's 5 pins, it's other variations in other countries. The Egyptians, they thought it up, at least as far as archaeologists can determine.
That was a costly miss of a spare by Tim Lipke just then, as he had a spare opportunity and was unable to convert. And now Ed Woodside works on a mark, and he leaves himself a tough shot. Puts 5 in the spare. Wood is angled to his benefit. There's the spare. Nice shot by Ed Woodside, and he'll be shooting at some bonus money. You're going to watch it one more time. The wood was angled very well. It helped him out immensely.
Yeah, it took out the 4 pin, and then one of the other pins took out the 7.
Now for some bonus money. We'd like to give some away. There goes a pin dancing across the lane, but it doesn't go down. Tough shot here for Ed Woodside. The wood is,
well, almost perpendicular, really.
I'm not sure how it's going to factor in. Tough shot.
He has no choice but to try to use it.
Well,
not sure what that was.
try to use the magnetic field.
That's what he meant to do.
And that'll be a 9 box. 79 for Ed Woodside. A 43-pin lead for Woodside with 4 boxes to go. The task is becoming more difficult for Tim Lipke. was right on the head pin, and he leaves a makeable shot here, the 5 and the 9. Cannot afford to miss this shot. And he did.
Yeah, the wood killed him there.
That's going to just about kill any chance that Tim Lipke had to make a run at Ed Woodside.
Our runner-up today takes home $300. The winner goes on to bowl for the championship in this ladder against Gary Santora, top seed.
Another tough shot coming here for Tim Lipke. He cannot get a break, although he had a makeable shot last time. This one's a little bit more difficult, although the wood gives him a shot at it. Right side of the wood. Nice shot. Spare for Tim Lipke in the 8th frame. Watch it again. He played the right side of that piece of wood, just on the end of it, bounced the wood off the sidewall. The ball took the 5 pin, or the 9 pin. Nice shot.
Well, mathematically, Lipke is still alive.
Just barely.
He's on life support.
This will be an open frame for Ed Woodside. 9 box. I dare say that Lipke needs a double strike coming out of the box here to finish really with a chance. That's not a very good first ball there by Woodside, as he was off the head pin.
Still going to be about 40 pins to overcome in 2 frames for Lipke. And we have a pin out of play. It will roll into the channel.
Nice 10 box for Ed Woodside. He's at 98. Now Tim Lipke needs to strike out.
Yeah, that would give him 161 if he were to throw 4 strikes here.
And even then,
one mark by Ed Woodside and a good fill, it would be over.
well, there's one.
Two more strikes makes it interesting.
A chance for some bonus money here.
Yeah, that's what makes it interesting. Any less than 2 strikes and the ball game is over for Tim Lipke.
Well, responding to the pressure right on the head pin. There it is again. He did hit the head pin, but he was a little too full on the head pin.
There are days when that would go. This was not one of those.
Oh, look at that. He almost pulled off the spare and almost got himself another 50 bucks. He's at 129 and 130. A third string for Tim Lipke and a 3-string total of 354. Ed Woodside already is at 357.
Well, it's 4-7 on a full head pin hit. 4 and the 7 in the left-hand corner remain.
So we really haven't had any very high scores in the first 3 weeks of this ladder series.
Nothing over 381.
That'll be a 10 box. $108 for Woodside. He's at 367. Here's a full pocket shot and a strike to close out for Ed Woodside in the 10th frame. Also want to acknowledge and note that we got full of information, far too much information for me to pass along, from Severio Orlando from East Boston, a devoted Candlepin bowling fan. He lists about every bowler who ever bowled Candlepin bowling on television in his note to us. There's 2 strikes in a row for Ed Woodside. We're going to close out with a $750 shot right here. This shot is worth $750 for Ed Woodside. And he hit the triple jackpot win last year.
Yeah, last March.
$525 this past March. $750. Here we go.
Oh, no.
You don't come much closer than that, do you? He gave it a run for the $750, and he finishes with a 136 and a three-string total of 395. We're coming back to meet our bowlers in a minute when we return to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you by the Thompson family of dealerships in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Ed Woodside defeats Tim Lipke by a final score of 395 to 354. Tim Lipke here to receive his check for $300 for being runner-up. Last couple of weeks you bowled from the lead. This week you had to bowl from behind. Different mentality?
Totally. Yeah, once you get, especially with a caliber bowler that Eddie Woodside is, I've bowled with him for a few years, you don't want to get behind on Ed because he will tuck it to you, and that's exactly what happened, and I couldn't get anything going.
Tim, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. Been a pleasure.
Tim
Don't stay away
Lipke,
so long
our
next time.
runner-up this afternoon, and now Ed Woodside will roll a ball in our bonus ball contest, and we'll try to match him up with a winner. And Ed Woodside, go right ahead. A deuce. We had a deuce a couple of weeks ago.
I think it was last week.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
Now we're going to try to match it up as Michael pulls a card out of the bin here this afternoon, and this is from Walter Markowitz Jr. of Nashua, and Walter picked 8, not a winner. A runner-up prize from N&R Trophies of Winchendon, New Hampshire, and we'll bring Ed Woodside in and congratulate Ed for the win this afternoon. And talking to Tim, the reverse, you bowled from the lead this afternoon, which makes it a little bit of a different mentality and a little bit easier on you, I suspect.
Yeah, you stay a little bit more relaxed the last string, definitely.
Last March, you hit the triple strike jackpot for $525. You were looking at it again for $750. Couldn't have done very much more than you did with that 8-pin drop.
I don't know if it was for that much. I probably would have hit it if I did, but yeah, it was close.
You'll get another shot at it next week. Congratulations. Ed Woodside, our winner here this afternoon, and up we go to the top of the ladder.
Yeah, Gary Santora, who 3 of his last 5 times has been in the top seed, likes it up there, and he'll try to defend his top position next Sunday.
We'll look forward to seeing you as well. For Mike Morin and our entire WNDS TV crew, I'm Dick Lutz. Thanks for watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua. We'll see you next time, everybody.